What's up everybody? Welcome back to Axom. My name is Junior and today we're going to do a review of the action puzzle game Day and Night. So let's get started. Before we jump into that review, we wanted to thank the developers over at Ridiculous Games for the review copy. We also have a giveaway for this game, so if you like what you're seeing and are interested in winning a copy, stay tuned to the end for all of the details. So with that being said, Day and Night is a classic puzzle game with some pretty interesting twists added to it. The game is published and developed by Ridiculous Games, and in it you will have to match and collect blocks like, classic puzzle games, but in a fun and frantic pace. If that weren't enough, you are trying to stay alive long enough for the time to change from day to night and back from night to day. The game can be played solo or with a friend in cooperative races to collect blocks, each one with their own themes. You can chain bonuses and launch attacks against your opponents. But as time changes, the blocks that were collectibles are now obstacles in your way. So developing a strategy and thinking ahead is going to be very essential. The game includes 2-player split screen, 1-player survival mode, and even a story mode with 6 different tales and interesting characters, different acts, and unique and randomized challenges. So, looking at the game, I fell in love with it. It's really amazing. I'm not usually a fan of puzzle games like this, but this one just combines a whole bunch of great aspects together. So on the graphics portion of it, the characters are pretty simple. Don't ask me how I know, but they remind me of the characters from Little Einsteins on Disney Channel or something like that. But the background on each level looks amazing. So here on each level is a different act of a play. So you have your characters, they have their dialogues, each character has their own costumes and everything to part of the story. Once their dialogue is over, the curtains open and you have your level for that theme. So the curtains and then the background look amazing. It looks kind of like Yoshi's Crafted World, but in full 2D instead of 2.5D. And that looked pretty amazing. I kind of like that. I wasn't expecting that going in. But the actual gameplay, when they say this is frantic, this is very frantic. You'll have to collect blocks. So you're either on the day side or on the night side for each level. If you're, let's say, on the day block side, you're collecting day blocks. You're also getting night blocks, and you need to organize them, because once you fill in the meter at the bottom, the whole thing, like the whole diorama type of thing, flips over to the back, and now you're on the night side. So you'll be collecting the night blocks and trying to stack up the day ones for the next time that it spins over. So strategy is very important, trying to figure out the best way to stack up the non-active blocks for the next steps. Filling up the meter will shrink the other player's screen, so it makes it way more challenging. You'll have to think about how your next stack will be when your stuff is getting smaller on your side. And also, you'll have to collect seasonal blocks. These are winter, summer, spring, and fall. Each one is labeled accordingly, and when you collect 4 or more of those, you can then attack the other player with some pretty cool attacks. They're different depending on the season, but there's some pretty good ones that pretty much take control of the other player's screen, and it makes it way more difficult. I've lost several times because of these special attacks. As you're collecting blocks, your meter on the either right or left side of your screen will also go down. So while you're collecting, that meter will cause chain points to accumulate, and those chain points are used to power the chain dial at the bottom of the screen. Depending on what the season is and everything, you'll get different types of attacks. As I mentioned, those chain attacks are pretty scary. They'll fill in the screen of the other player with a bunch of stuff and just cause all sorts of problems. And I had some difficulty later on in the game. I did the story mode, so that was pretty good. And as I mentioned, there is a story mode, so each there's different stories with different acts inside the story. You have a different background and everything, and the character dialogue changes. As you beat those new characters that you meet, you can gather their costumes and then add it to your inventory. So that was cool, collecting like little bunnies and bears and cowboy hats and everything for later on. Okay, so let's move over to controls. The controls are pretty simple to understand. Now, I'll admit that I messed up because of the franticness of the game. You start getting a whole bunch of stuff going on at one time, and you kind of sort of mess up. So you'll move left and right like a normal thing. You can either drop it slowly or press up and it'll drop all the way to the bottom really fast, no controls whatsoever. And you can also spin the little blocks around. What you have to consider is not only the day and night stuff on where you are, but also the seasonal blocks that are either attached to it or the attack blocks. So you'll have some blocks that have bombs, right? If you drop that on your own, you can get rid of some if you do it fast, or if you do it slowly, it won't go off, which is important to remember because there are other attacks, not just the bombs. There's also ice, which if you drop it fast will form a layer of ice that you can't build underneath anymore. You just start stacking on top of that. It's very difficult to put all together, but the controls are simple. They're easy to master, but once that game starts picking up and the competition is going back and forth, it takes a while to memorize everything and know where every button is and what it does. But like I said, they're really simple. I think most of the mistakes are all on myself, very mental mistakes on hitting the wrong button or not paying attention to the block itself and what was in it. So I set myself up a couple times for failure. But that was really good there. The next part is for the audio. This game has some amazing audio. The music just goes perfectly with the levels. I mean, it gives you that intense feeling that you're running out of time and everything, like the Flight of the Bumblebee. That kind of music is just plays so fast, and you get the sensation that you're running out of time, running out of space, and it was really well done. I enjoyed the audio on this game. Now for replayability, I think this game has a lot of replayability. As I mentioned, you have a 2-player split screen, so that's endless amounts of fun. There's also a survival mode, which will give you unique and random challenges. And then the story, which is pretty simple, but there are 6 different tales and multiple acts per tale, so you have that going for you. I definitely enjoyed this game, and like I said, we don't do reviews very often, but if we did, I would give this a 4 out of 5. So with all that being said, this is a good game. If you like puzzle games, we definitely recommend you pick it up right away. But let's go on and move over to the giveaway information. As we mentioned earlier, we are doing a giveaway. So if you're interested in this game and would like to enter the giveaway, there are only 2 things you have to do. First thing is to make sure you are subscribed to our channel. That way you are notified when we release new videos. And also make sure to leave a comment on this video. We will pick a random winner and announce it on our Friday Nintendo News Recap episode, so stay tuned. Okay everyone, if you liked the video, make sure to give us a thumbs up. It really does help us out. We also encourage you to subscribe to our channel and possibly consider supporting us through Patreon. And lastly, make sure to let us know in the comment section what your thoughts are on this game and what some of your favorite puzzle games are. But for myself and the entire Axom team, we thank you for your support and hope to see you in the next one. Take care everybody.